If your nonprofit doesn't currently raise major gifts, or your program could be better, then this series is for you. I'm Amy Eisenstein. Join me on this journey to mastering major gifts. Welcome back to the Major Gifts Challenge. If you're unfamiliar with the challenge, check out the introductory video here. A list of potential donors, often called a portfolio or a pipeline, helps you secure major gifts. Today, you'll learn how to create a profitable portfolio. In the last Major Gifts Challenge video, you learned how to create lists of your biggest and most loyal donors. Now it's time to narrow those lists into a manageable portfolio of prospective major gift donors. It's easy to become overwhelmed or paralyzed looking at a large list of major gift prospects. Narrowing the list takes some careful thought, but making it manageable is critical for success. Right now, you should have the lists of your largest and most loyal individual donors in front of you. If you're thinking, what donors? I don't have any lists of donors. You're not alone. Next week's video will address your concerns, but stick with me now because you will need this information in the near future when you do have donor lists. Assuming you do have your lists of donors, your largest and most loyal, in front of you, the next step is to schedule a meeting of your major gift team, staff and board members who are well connected in the community and might know many of the people on your lists. This team should come together to help you narrow down the lists and create your initial major gift portfolio. During the meeting, serve food. Always serve food. Depending on the time of day, you don't have to provide a meal, but snacks are a must when volunteers are involved. If you have access to wealth screening, screen the names on your lists prior to the meeting and bring that information with you. Let your team know that the goal of the meeting is to rate the people on your lists by affinity and capacity in order to come up with the best possible portfolio of major gift donors. You will be giving each person on your lists 2 scores. The scores range from 1 through 5, with 5 being the highest score. The first score is for affinity. Here, you determine or at least guesstimate how much each person loves your organization and cares about the mission. Are they active volunteers? Did they give a lot of money? Do they give frequently or more than once a year? Score each person based on their affinity for your organization. Next up is the capacity score. As a group, give everyone another score, 1 through 5, for their ability and propensity to give a major gift. This will be easier if you've done a wealth screening, but use what you know about the person. What do they give to your organization and to other organizations? What do they do for a living? Where do they live? And so forth. Here's an example of what your rating system might look like. A score of 5 would indicate $100,000 or more, and a score of 1 would be less than $10,000. If you'd only have 1s using this scale, then adjust it like this. Once everyone on your lists has 2 scores, then add them together. For example, Jane Smith may have a 4 for affinity and a 4 for capacity, so she would have a total score of 8. The people with scores of 8, 9, and 10 will go on your prospect list. Start with a list of 20 people. Once you've gotten through those names, you can always add more. Now, let's look at where you'll want to spend your time this week. This week's Challenge Yourself action item involves 2 simple steps. Step 1, Call a meeting. Call a meeting of your development team, volunteers, and staff, and work together to rate the people on your lists. If there are still corporations and foundations on your lists, be sure to cross them out. Step 2, score each individual. Score each person on your list on a scale of 1 to 5, both for affinity and capacity. Combine those scores and narrow your lists down to those with the 20 highest scores. As you know, many of the concepts behind raising major gifts are simple, but they are not so easy to implement. You may be scratching your head wondering how to determine somebody's capacity to give. In my online course, Mastering Major Gifts, you'll get much more detail about how to determine an appropriate score. It's not easy, but there are some good rules of thumb you'll pick up in the course. You'll also receive a worksheet to help you and your volunteers streamline the process. So if you need some extra help in getting your major gift program going, check out Mastering Major Gifts. It could be just what the doctor ordered. Now it's your turn to share. Have you tried this in the past? What has worked and not worked? How will you determine how to accurately score your donor's affinity and capacity? If you've never tried this before, what concerns do you have before pulling your team meeting together? How will you overcome those concerns? Join the conversation in the comments. Congratulations! You're on your way to mastering major gifts. If you want more videos like this, head on over to amyeisenstein.com. There you can subscribe to my weekly newsletter, and when you do, you'll get instant access to 2 free ebooks. Like and share. The larger the conversation, the more we all learn. Thanks again for taking the Major Gifts Challenge. Working together, we will make the world a better place.